Hello everyone, happy history hump day. We're going to look at the beginning of history. We're going to do history starting at the beginning. How do we know what the beginning is? There's a lot of different theories. When you go way, way back, beginning of the world, is that the same as the beginning of human history? I did read some of Charles Darwin's Origin of Species, the first 10 pages. So now I know everything. Now I have all the answers. It's not a question anymore of how the world began, because I can just tell you. It's pretty obvious. Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But so I was reading it, trying to figure out where the beginning of the world is. And he doesn't actually talk about that. So it turns out Charles Darwin doesn't have all the answers either. No, actually, he talks about it in a different book. I looked it up. I forget what the book is called, but he talks about the beginning of humans and how he thinks that we share ancestors with the monkeys and the apes. He's obviously wrong, because I would know, because I was there and I saw it. That didn't happen. That didn't happen, Charles. But in the Origin of Species, he's talking about, I don't know if this is really history, but it kind of is. He's talking about how the world, how each organism has a bunch of varieties in it. And I'm like, does he think it's unlimited? I don't know. Did he think it's unlimited? That would be nice. Can I become a bird? Can I fly? I've always wanted to fly. But it wouldn't be me. It would have to be 400 generations, my great-great-great-grandkids. They would get to fly. So I don't know how to bring out the variables in me to make them fly. Anyway, so that was really interesting. It's definitely, I don't agree with it, but here's the thing. So looking at the different historical documents that try to talk about the beginning of the world, obviously the Bible would be a historical document too. And some people would say that Genesis is metaphorical. Some people say it's not true at all. And some people say it's literal. If Genesis is literal, then the Charles Darwin and Bible would conflict, and you have to pick one. So pick your favorite. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Just kidding. I would pick the Bible because the thing with the Bible is obviously it's older. It's been passed down through thousands and thousands of years. Collection of a bunch of different stories. It's a pretty cohesive story, it seems like. Everything, lines up really, really cool theologically. And God says, he talks through different people in 40 different authors, 1,500 years is what it's written in, which is kind of cool. And then there's probably one of the bigger, coolest things in the Bible is the prophecies that Jesus fulfills. He fulfills, I think they said the chances of him fulfilling 8 prophecies, if you filled up Texas 4 feet high with a bunch of coins, you put a dot on one of the coins, you're going blindfolded, pick one of the coins. The chances of it being the coin with a dot is the same as the chances of Jesus fulfilling the 8 prophecies. But he fulfilled over 300, which is kind of cool. So those are some reasons to believe it would have to be the Word of God. Now, of course, there's a lot of different contradictions in the Bible, seemingly contradictions, which if you believe it's the Word of God, you would just dismiss it and say, well, obviously, it just seems like a contradiction. I don't even have to look into it. I just know it's not true. I know that's kind of a cop-out, but what else are you going to do? If you look at those contradictions, you say, see, there you go, it can't be the Word of God, then whatever evidence I just shared about the prophecies, you're going to have to dismiss that too. Be like, well, that's not really. There's just so many different things. We could go back and forth all day long. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to dismiss whatever you say, and you're going to dismiss whatever I say. No, I would not pretend, I would be interested in what you have to say. But at the end of the day, we both believe what we believe. So we just kind of think that whatever you came up with must not be true somehow. And you can look into it, but at the end of the day, it makes more sense to just believe the thing that's been passed down to you. And this idea of looking into different perspectives and trying to see other people's point of view. Nah, I'm right, you're wrong, obviously. No. It's good to look, you can look into different perspectives, but just be just put an anchor in something. Hope that it's true. If it turns out it's not true, okay. Well, that's sad. But At least you put your faith into something. Put your faith into something, so, because you might as well. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Let the anchor go and just float around in the ocean? So at least if you're an atheist, you put your anchor in that. And that's good. I mean, that's not good. Don't do that. But I understand. At least you're believing something firmly and not questioning it. Less questions, less questioning, more just believing blindly with faith. Because that's the way to live life, right? Anyway, so we got the two historical things. And there's people who believe in the Bible and evolution, and they somehow see it as it fitting, like God used evolution and millions of years, and the 6 days are just metaphorical. I don't think that seems true, because there was evening, there was morning, the first, second, third day. We use that work week now. God used it in Exodus, work for 6 days, rest on the seventh. It just seems like they're very literal, and I don't know where else the work week would have come from. I don't know why it would have come from a metaphorical millions of years. And then also he's very clear about it being, he made the fish according to their kinds. He made the birds according to their kinds, each according to their kinds. He repeats that over and over again, almost like, if there's ever a theory of evolution that comes up, just know that it's not true, because I made it very clear in Genesis that it's literally the opposite. Seems like it. But again, some people try to fit them together. And then if there's people who see them as conflicting and they say, okay, then the Bible's not true. Again, that's another, you look at what you think is true and then you dismiss anything that seems to contradict it. And I do the exact same thing by saying, okay, the Bible's true, forget science. So, you know what? Science isn't true. It's never true. They used to think that you had to drill holes in your head to get rid of a mental illness and put leeches. If you had a disease, they would put leeches on you to get rid of your blood. So come on. Are we going to believe the scientists? What do they know that God doesn't know? Obviously, God is the ultimate scientist. So, anyways, that's what I believe. Kind of historical. That's the beginning of the world. God created us in 6 days and rested on the seventh, and then it was Adam and Eve. Anyway, a little bit controversial, but I'll get into more history, hopefully. We'll just start at the beginning. That's the beginning. So thank you for joining me. And just remember, don't ever question anything and don't ever look at any of the perspectives. Even though I did do that. I did read the first 10 pages of The Origin of Species. So I gave him a chance. I gave Darwin a chance. And he disappointed me. I'm just kidding.